Real Housewives of Atlanta Sunday. So we start off with Drew meeting with her video director. Apparently, he's worked with Soldier Boy, I think, Tia, and some other people. Back in the days, they met in 2009, and she respects him and his vision. So she's planning this video party and everything. But he drops a bomb on her, telling her like, "Is Ralph in shape? Because if you don't have the abs busting, we cannot use him. We are going to have to recast him." I think they should recast him anyway because Ralph is just insufferable, and I'm just like, ugh, this is Drew's thing. Let Drew have it. You don't have to. No one knows you for your music. I know he plays the piano in church and stuff like that, but let Drew have a shine. Like, be okay being in the background. How Sonia's husband kind of is okay being in the background while Sonia is like, the star. But anyways, next scene we go to cryotherapy with Sheree and Sonia. This is where they talk about getting ready for the Gucci party and basically saying that they think Candy misunderstood the message and that they should talk to her instead of the other girls. And they're like, why did the other girls leave? Because basically they don't like Marlo either. So I guess that's why they left. But there was more than Marlo there. And that's what's killing Atlanta. Like, Candy can be upset and walk away, but why is everyone following her? Because if y'all are leaving, how are we going to shoot the scene? We need to have more than conflict on our screens for us to keep following you. But we'll see how the rest of the episode pans out. So they are setting us up for this Gucci party. Marlo meets with Courtney and she's kind of venting about Candy being selfish, not really looking out for it. The same story we've been hearing since basically episode 2. And Candy meets with Sonia and she's like, I'm not a sentimental person. I lost my brother at a young age. Marlo knows this about me. And she feels like Marlo is trying to make her life more complicated, which I can see because this happened 2 years ago. Marlo never really had a conversation about it. Even Courtney is like, why didn't you talk to her? She's like, she hasn't seen her. Girl, we've had, 2 seasons or at least a season and a half. You've shot multiple scenes with her. So if it was a problem, and I'm not even team Candy or team anybody, it's just like, obviously this is a storyline because you can't say you haven't seen her since your nephew died 2 whole years ago. Like, you text that you've seen her after that. So don't say that. That's just such a blatant lie. But Candy also saying she's not sentimental. And Sonia on Carlos King said something. Marlo is a giver. She gives with all her heart. Like, if you're her friend, she comes through for you. So when things happen to her, she expects people to do that. The same thing. I used to be like that. Like, I'll give. Then when people don't do the same for me, I get upset. But I started learning, like, if I'm giving from my heart. It may never come back to me, and that's what it is. Or I match your energy depending on the vibes, basically. So I think Marlo needs to learn to do that. Match people's energy. If they're really not there for you, they're not there for you. Don't try to force things. But I definitely see her part because if she's somebody that something happens to someone and she's going above and beyond to be there for the person, she's expecting the same in return. But everybody ain't you. So you can't expect everyone to, reciprocate the way you will. So I see both sides, but it is what it is. It's just drama for us. So Drew is getting ready for her video, and conveniently their star does not show up, and they let Ralph know who comes in ready to be sexy for the video. I'm like, boring. But they do their thing, and they're practicing for the video. Nothing to see there, basically. Then we get to Kenya, which I love the story of hers. This is like what Real Housewives is about, real stories. She talks about difficulty in her pregnancy. I mean, she was like almost 50 when she had Brooklyn. So advanced maternal age, played a huge part. She said every time she went to the hospital, it was scary. Even her doctor endorses it. Like, girl, I wouldn't recommend you getting pregnant again because every time like you came in, it was such high risk. I've been practicing for over 20 years and, I haven't seen this level of uncertainty throughout the pregnancy and even the delivery, even her C-section. C-section is like boom, bam, out. But Kenya ended up bleeding. Her C-section apparently extended over 2 hours, which is quite dramatic and very scary. Very, very scary. But we find out she has a few embryos, which is great. So she could basically get a surrogate because legally, she said Mark signed over the embryos to her if they were ever to get a divorce. And they're in the process of divorcing. And it's like ridiculous that it's taking this long. Like, they were barely married for like a year because they lived separately for the most part of their actual marriage. So I'm like, what the hell? why is it taking so long? But hey, if you go to New Jersey, Dolores' partner has been separated for 14 years. So people be doing things differently. But I'm happy at least she has the embryo. She has the option to, have the babies if she chooses to. And definitely not carry it because it's way too high risk for her to carry it. And she acknowledges that. She definitely acknowledges that. And it also sounds like she's going through menopause because her doctor has her on hormones and she said it's improving some symptoms that sounded like menopausal symptoms, which makes sense. She's in her 50s. Menopause happens late 40s to 50s for some people. So it is what it is. But yeah, I love the storyline. It's very real. This is what Giselle and Potomac could have carried us along with, because these health scares and health challenges, especially in Black women, is something that they should talk about. It helps with the education. It helps with other people seeking similar things, because now women are going through careers and, taking longer to have babies. So I love it. I really love that conversation. All right, Avengers Assemble. All the ladies come in their Gucci fits. I loved Sonia's outfit. That was real beautiful. I loved Marlo's outfit. Who else came in Gucci? Everybody else came in Gucci. Candy looked a mess. I'm like, where the hell did she get this stupid ass shirt from? Drew looked cheap, like off the rack, sale Gucci. Courtney looked chic. I think she just had a belt on, which is good. I don't want you labeled up. If you're going to be labeled up, do you like Sonia? Because even though it was Gucci, it wasn't angry. It wasn't in your face. I loved the way it looked. So they all look good. But I mean, Sonia and Marlo were my faves. And before it even starts, Candy's like, move Marlo away from me because this ain't going to work. Then Sheree starts crying. I'm like, what is Sheree crying for? But I get it, because it's like such discord. We're like, how many episodes in, and every freaking episode there's been like a blow up fight. Like, we need to get to a point. Either you guys ignore Marlo and just get along, or hash it out and get along, because we cannot keep having fights every freaking episode. It is exhausting. They haven't even done the girls trip. Like, how is that even going to go? Like, for real, for real. How is that going to go? Because every time they're arguing. Now Drew has a problem with Marlo. I don't even know what her problem with Marlo is. Like, okay, I do remember what her problem is. But, I mean, her problem is not that deep for her to still carry it, because it wasn't even directed at her. It was more directed at Candy. Kenya doesn't like Marlo. She ain't gonna like Marlo. Marlo says some crazy things to her. It is what it is. But I'm just like, can we get along just so that we could shoot this show and have people in the homes like me have fun watching it? Like, this is annoying. Well, Kenya and Drew really had a plan to not let Marlo speak, because I'm looking like, let Marlo freaking talk to Candy. They're the two with the problem. Why is everybody else talking? And Drew is just on and on like a yapping chihuahua. Man, she's annoying. Like, her trying to be on Candy's side is like, girl, you about to be off the show if you keep doing this. You have to have your own brain. You have to stand by yourself. That's the thing. When they start this alliance stuff, it doesn't work out for everybody. You're going to be out of a job, and Candy is not going to hire you. So Candy's like telling Marlo, like, girl, nobody wants a murder attached to them. Of course she knows that it happened in her business. But like I said, nobody wants that kind of press. One for your business, one for your brand. Because now, first, Courtney says first episode, basically you made the thing ghetto. Then by second episode, we're realizing there's all these gunshots at Blaze and OLG and all this crazy stuff attached to the ghetto, which, is problematic. So Marla is trying to explain, like, this is not what I meant. And they would not let her finish. Kenya is going on, basically talking over her. I can't make out what Marlo is trying to say at this point. And everybody is like, let her speak, let her speak. Even Candy is like, okay, let her speak. And they would not let her speak. And Kenya is there insulting her, calling her bottom something B word. And I was like, what the hell? Where is all this animosity from? Like, say what you will, but Kenya and Marlo, did they have any fight this season? I don't think so. So for her to be going that hard, I don't get it. Because I've seen Kenya be close to Cynthia and all these people, but she usually lets them have their own fight, I think. So, yeah, it's weird. At this point, Marla is like, y'all can have it. Like, because Marla is trying to use her life coach's advice so she don't blow up on these bees. So she walks out of the room and Sheree chases after her. We'll see what happens. Well, Marlo comes back, and once again, they don't let her talk. Two people jump up from the seat talking about they want to use the bathroom. She's explaining to Kenya, like, I just needed condolences. I needed acknowledgement. Like, if it was you that your nephew died, I would have been at your door. I would have done this. Like I said, Marlo is putting Candy in a position that Candy does not do naturally. Candy is about her family, her family, her family, her family. And I'm talking nuclear plus Mama Joyce. She's not really for the people. I think when she got burned by Kim, Candy kind of changed and she moves differently. So Marlo cannot expect her to go above and beyond. And to be fair, when she said the text, it didn't seem like Marlo was that broken. So it is what it is. And at this point, Kenya is not even talking anymore. They seem very uninterested. And at this point, Marlo is like, well, we don't even have to talk about it again. Crazy ass Sheree is like, well, I did good. 4 out of 7 people made up, so I'm patting myself on the back. This is never gonna work. And they ended there, and they're yelling at Toast, and Drew and Courtney are like hiding in the background talking about they're gonna kick us out. This was a hot mess. So we're gonna be fighting every week is what it looks like, because next week we see Candy be shady to Sheree, talking about she by Shin. Bitch. That's the problem I have with Candy. But we'll talk about it next week. But yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all think about this episode. I'm tired of the fighting. Like, I have a headache.